Hi guys, I'm Henry Hart. With me always is the punk rock brother man, Mr. Johnny Noise.
Thanks, Henry. We would like to welcome you all to the Inertia Entertainment Channel. We have a really good show lined up for you tonight, so buckle up and enjoy the ride.
Hi guys, we'd like to welcome San Antonio local artist Israel Rico to the show. How you doing, Israel?
What's up, brother?
Doing good. Thanks for having me, John and Henry. I appreciate the time. Thanks for having me.
Oh,
No
dude, yeah,
problem.
no
No
worries.
problem.
Thanks for taking your time out to come on our show. We appreciate it.
Yeah, we really do, man. Um, so let's get started. So, how did you get into doing art?
Um, well, actually, I got into doing art, actually reading Peanuts comic strips and reading Spider-Man. There was a time where I wanted to be a comic book artist in the 80s when I started reading comic books. Actually, I'd started reading comic books like in the late 70s, in the 70s, when I was exposed to Spider-Man, which 5 years old, 3 years old. And then later on, like towards the 80s, me and my brother, we started collecting comic books. We started collecting, he started collecting more of the modern ones from the 80s, and I started collecting more of the Silver Age comics and stuff like that. So when he got married, we split up our collection, and to this day, we always fight about, well, no, this one was mine, this one was mine, and all that stuff.
Wow.
But also it kind of like sigged into horror in a bit because my brother would take me to the midnight movies to go see a lot of the 80s classics that came on, some that are on my favorite list. But from then I really didn't get much into horror because um, in high school I got into art. And then there was a time where I wanted to be a commercial artist, comic book artist. But then being a comic book artist, it's so demanding back then. You had to be really, really, really good. And so I said, well,
Mm.
you know what? I'm going to, decide to put my career on a back burner. So I ended up kind of like leaving art a little bit. Then I came back to it. I watched this movie called Blood In, Blood Out. And that was like a big, very inspiring movie as far as learning about the Chicano culture, the Mexican culture.
Oh,
It
wow.
even
Yeah.
got to the point of where I ended up doing my genealogy. And I don't know if you're familiar with the Mexican comedian Chespirito, who played Chapulín Colorado and
Yeah,
Chavo del Ocho. Well,
the
he's my ninth
chocolate.
cousin removed in my genealogy. So I just found this out like last year. So so from there, I got involved with a cultural arts project called Sonato Cultural Arts. Ended up doing two murals with them, and then from there, I started meeting people, started doing gallery shows, and then I took another hiatus. I got married, and then I got divorced, and then once I got divorced, I got back into my artwork. I really got into it. I got
Mm.
published in at the UNAM, University of Mexico. They used an image, and my friend Lisa Dominguez Reese wrote a poetry book, and she asked me to illustrate her book.
Oh, wow.
And then from
Okay.
there, it kind of grew. So I started doing markets. I was involved with Get Retro Arts, which they're having Frida Fest this weekend, which I'm not a part of, but I have been a part of Frida Fest for like almost like 6 years straight. And then from there, I did this event called Zombie Walk. And then so I decided to do like my first horror paintings. And then that's when I met Angel from Kings of Horror. And he goes, "Hey, we're having this event coming on." And from there, I just got involved in doing all the horror artwork. And I had completely forgotten about these movies that I used to like. And from there, I got involved with
Wow.
Kings of Horror, Retro City, and now I'm starting to do like these little pop-ups with these two coffee bistro horror themed places. There's one up the street called the third. I guess it's called the Morning Slasher. It's off of Callahan Road, and I had asked, hey, is there any way I can display my artwork at your place of venue, because from there, I ended up displaying my artwork at Taco Haven Mexican restaurant in the Southtown area, and also at Luchador Bar. And I pretty much have everything carte blank. I can display Chicano artwork and horror artwork at the same time at a
Oh,
Mexican
no
restaurant
shit.
and at a
That's
bar.
awesome.
Yeah. So
Wow.
so I mean,
Wow.
and it's about just meeting different people, and you meet a lot
Networking.
of different people. Yeah, networking, and
Hmm.
you meet a lot of different clients, and it's the journey's just been incredible. So yes, and then that's how I
So,
met. And actually, we did the event when we did the event in Mockingbird Lane. That's when I met Henry, and then
yeah, you said, yeah.
yeah, and then it's weird because I do a lot of Peanuts themed horror,
I
and
saw that.
you
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, you'll be surprised at how many of the celebrities that I either gift them a painting or a print, and it's Peanuts theme, and they like freak out. Like wow, it's like oh my god, like I think it was oh, who was the actor from Dawn of the Dead? She played Fran. She played Fly Girl. I forgot her name. Jeez,
Uh,
but I gave her
Galen
a
Ross.
Huh?
Galen Ross.
Yeah, Galen Ross. I gave her a painting of a Peanuts version of her and Flyboy in the zombie version, and she just loved it. I mean, she just loved it,
Wow.
and
Wow.
and sometimes I have uh uh what is his name, Nicholas Franklin, the Chatter from Hellraiser. He hung out at my table, and we were just talking. We weren't talking about horror. We are just talking about totally different, different things. Amanda Beers, who else? Jeffrey Voorhees, who played Alex Kittner. Um, I mean, just meeting these people that were actors of movies that I have seen, and just talking to him about just things in general. I mean, it's just so mind blowing, I mean,
Yeah.
and sometimes they'll come and they'll shop and they'll buy like magnets off of you, and it's just weird. It's just the journey's,
Wow.
like I said, the journey's just been amazing.
That is so cool. Yeah, I saw Henry sent me some stuff, so I can kind of view. And you mentioned the peanuts, and that the one that I saw that he sent me was they were like almost like cavemen, I guess.
It
Yes,
was
Uh,
Hills Have Eyes.
yeah,
oh yeah, yeah,
yeah. That
yeah,
one
yeah.
was
There you
the
go.
Hills
Yeah,
Have Eyes, and
that was the Hills
actually,
of Eyes.
Janice,
So
yeah, Henry had actually bought a magnet and sent it to Janice Blythe. And
yeah,
Janice
yeah,
Blythe messaged me and she says, is it okay if I post it on? I go and post it because I
yeah,
mean, because she was worried about, of course, we were talking about earlier,
Yeah.
copyright and all that stuff. And I
yeah.
go,
Of course, yeah.
yeah. And I told her, it's a parody. I go, you know what? Weird Al does parodies, and
Correct.
and
Yeah.
like you guys are musicians, art is universal, just like
Yeah.
music. Music is very
Right.
universal at the same time.
Right. Right.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, Janice is she's something else. We
Yeah,
we've had her on twice, and we stay in contact with her, and of
cool.
course we'll probably have her on again. And uh, but yeah, like I said, I saw some of your stuff. I'm like, wow. So before Henry moves on to the next question, you mentioned you do horror, then you do like this Hispanic art.
Mhm.
So is it along the same genre? Is it like Day of the Dead type stuff? Or is it just total, a little bit of everything? You know what I'm saying? Is it just totally like Hispanic cultural stuff?
Yeah, yeah.
So,
It's kind of
cause
like
I
a.
go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, no, I was saying I like all that kind of that the scenes and the artwork and all that stuff from that cultural
Mhm.
especially Day of the Dead stuff. Obviously, you got the sugar skulls and you got this, you got that, whatever. But I like to check out some of that stuff that you do as well. That I think that'd be pretty kind of that'd be cool.
Yeah, and sometimes what I'll do, like I'll make like what is called a horrorteria series, like loteria. So I'll do like
Hmm.
El Cucuy, like the boogeyman in Spanish. I'll put Michael Myers.
Yeah.
There's actually one that I'm working on called La Toxica, and it's Freaky Nikki from Obsession. So because she's fucking toxic in that movie. I mean, it's like
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it kind of reminds me of my friends that used to date these girls that were real like tóxicas, like real needy, like, oh my baby, you know, like that, like fuck
Oh my
that.
God.
But you know what? Now that you're talking about it, see, like this is an example, like Day of the Dead.
Yeah.
This is
Oh yeah, yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
yeah. So I do Day of the
That's
Dead,
cool.
and then here's El Chavo. Um,
Oh wow.
and
Okay.
so that's something that I do. And then seeing that we're on the subject on Hispanic art, so there's an event that I have coming up called Barbacoa and Big Red. So what I'll do is I'll mix like
Oh
Oh,
shit.
wow.
Yeah.
yeah, Big Red and Barbacoa, and then Day of the Dead, I'll you know it's a Death Skull,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Barbacoa.
That see. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah,
I'm digging that, man.
yeah. So that's what I do. I like to, because my there's always an there's what is called an artist statement, and because they say, well, what is your artist statement? And my artist statement is mixing Chicano imagery and pop culture for a new generation. And
Yeah.
it's weird
Yeah.
because Manuel, when I was working on my second mural, I said, he goes, what do you want to do with your art? And he goes, I want to find a way to mix uh put those two things together, and just it's kind of like what Ray Manzarek would talk about Jim Morrison. He goes, hey, let's peek on the other side, let's see what's on the other side of that, that barrier. And
Yeah.
usually I've done that, like here, I'll show you something else that my wife kept. And this is a big painting that I did, and it's Marilyn Monroe as a Virgen de Guadalupe.
Wow. Check
Wow.
that out.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, so
Holy that's
I like to
outstanding.
I like to push the barrier a little bit on that. So
That is so cool.
now I did, and of course, like Dreaming of You, Selena, Freddy Krueger,
Oh,
kind of
check
that
that
kind of
out.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but
So
yeah,
you're
and there was
melding,
one.
you're putting the stuff you're kind of taking from one, you're melding it together and making,
Yeah.
you know.
I remember I did one painting of Marilyn Monroe as a virgin, and it was the 7 year, it was this, oh, you've seen the movie 7 Year Itch. Remember her
Mhm.
dress
Yeah.
goes up and all that
Oh yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah.
Well, and you could probably find it. It's on my Facebook. If not, I'll send it to you. That way you could show your audience, what have you. But it was weird because it shows the Marilyn Monroe Virgen with the dress going up, and I dressed the guy that was standing next to him as Juan Diego, right, with the vision of the Virgin with the shower. Well, it looks like he's
Yeah, yeah.
in the, and my friend bought it, and a lot of people were like saying, "Is he masturbating?" Like, no, he's not. He's got his hands in his pocket. But a lot of people made that assumption that, oh,
Wow.
hey, he's got his hands inside, and it looks like he's got a bulge, but it's like, hey, and then I mean, of course, with artwork you always have a
Hmm.
couple of controversial pieces, and
Yeah, yeah.
like me, here's another controversial piece that I did. It's up here, and if you ever get a chance, hold on, I gotta hang it up here. If you ever get a chance, look up the Fiesta Sniper from 1979.
Oh,
Holy smokes.
So I got shot when I was 9 years old by the Fiesta Sniper,
oh my.
and
Wow.
so I made a Fiesta medal commemorating the 40th anniversary of the Fiesta Sniper. And man, did I get a lot of heat for that one, because they thought that I was glamorizing, the sniper and all that stuff. But that was my experience that I happened at 9 years old, you know, and so I understand, when people, they go through active shooters, they don't know what to do. The way to
Hmm.
describe it is someone stamping on an anthill, and you see the ants like going all over the place because you don't know where to go. And
Right,
my
right.
parents, my dad got shot, my mom got shot, my mom fell during the whole melee, and we went to go see my brother, the one that used to take me to the midnight movies, because he was in the Brackenridge High School, well, Wheatley High School ROTC, and we didn't get to see him because he had already marched. We missed him. So,
Oh no.
Holy Jesus.
yeah. So I've had my share of controversial pieces, but they a lot of artists say you're not an artist until you're controversial. So I guess it comes with I guess it goes with the territory. Just like when musicians, you really haven't hit it big until you've made a controversial video with back in MTV days, or if
Oh
you do
yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
controversial song that gets banned. So, like I
Yeah.
said, art and music always go together. Yeah, at
Sometimes
that.
sometimes the best thing is to be banned. Then you go, hey, I got banned for this, and everybody wants it. It's like, wait,
Yeah,
what happened?
exactly.
Because it's like saying to a kid, you can't have this, man. They want that after that, though. You know what I'm saying? So, I got banned. Well, everybody wants to see. Well, what did you get banned for? Let's go check it out. That is cool, man.
Yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
wow. That's some
So,
wild stuff. But
yeah.
your artwork is incredible, though. It's really, really
Oh
cool. I
yeah.
mean,
Definitely.
Thanks.
I gotta say, it's yeah, yeah. So I'm stoked now. I'm gonna check out all your stuff and see what we can come up with, because I like like I said, I like the Day of the Dead play on a cartoon character ish kind of thing.
Mhm.
So that's kind of my thing. So
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. We'll figure it out though, because I think it's so cool. It's
cool.
definitely yeah, yeah. But I know Henry has some other questions. Go ahead, Henry.
Sure. Shoot
Yeah,
away,
no
Henry.
problem.
Hmm.
So, uh, one of my questions is, do you have a favorite horror movie? But you actually said that you have a list
A
for it.
list.
Yes, I have a
So this
list.
ought to be
So
great.
so I'm gonna go through each decade, because I was watching Jessica I was kind of like getting a feel. Okay, let me see what because I saw
Yeah, yeah.
Jessica's video and stuff, and I'm very good friends with Jessica the Nun. She is just an
Awesome.
amazing friend. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me go to the 70s. The 70s is Jaws, the original Dawn of the Dead, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Suspiria. And Suspiria, I love it because the way Argento uses the colors in Suspiria. I mean, and from an artist
Wow.
point of view, it's like fuck. It's just like mind blowing. So yeah, and I got a chance to meet Barbara Mangolfi. I've had a chance to meet the whole cast of Texas Chainsaw. I met
Oh
Jeffrey
wow.
Voorhees from Jaws, and of course I met Galen Ross, from Dawn of the Dead. So moving on to the 80s, because my brother used to take me to Northwest 14, but to the midnight movies. So in the 80s would be Return of the Living Dead, Aliens, Killer Clowns from Outer Space. That was kind of like Killer Clowns. I kind of like didn't see it until much later,
Hmm.
and Reanimator, and I got to meet Barbara Crampton, and I've cosplayed as Jeffrey Combs, as a Herbert West from Reanimator. In the 90s, it's Silence of the Lambs,
Oh
Tales from the
shit.
Dark Side, and Scream. In the 2000s, it's Trick or Treat, American Psycho, and The Devil's Rejects. American Psycho, of course, I
Oh
like the
yeah.
I like the I like the Huey Lewis part because I like the way he analyzes like each album. And I tend to do that. Like I'll tell that to my wife. I go, do you like a flock of seagulls? Do you know that they're actually from the same place, Birth of the Beatles? I'll go off on like some stupid tangents and stuff like that. Okay, so 2010s would be Train to Busan, which is a zombie movie that was done in
Yep.
Japan. The
Oh
Conjuring,
wow.
uh, Terrifier, the first one, and then Mexico
Oh yeah.
Barbaro. Mexico Barbaro is a good one. It's all in Spanish, but
Hmm.
here's a little trivia for you. Gigi Saul Guerrero directed the Day of the Dead segment at the last anthology story. He is the one. I don't know if you ever seen the Crest commercial where you got a lot of plaque buildup. That's Gigi Saul Guerrero. I
Oh
did
no
not
kidding.
know that
Yeah.
was her. That is her. Yeah,
Wow. Wow.
yeah. And then in the modern uh, Obsession, because I really fell in love with that movie. And then these are two independent movies that I like because one of my friends is in it, Christy Adams, and Ginger Lynn is in them both. I got an opportunity to meet Ginger Lynn. Actually, I got to give her a painting too of her in which is actually it's three. It's Only Fangs, Murder Size, and The Gifted. So those are
Oh
my
wow.
favorite movies. Yeah, and the last three are they're independent movies done by AP Productions. Anything that Tom Devlin has done to as well because
Mm.
he doesn't do any AI special effects. All of his special effects are just like old school
Old school.
special
Yeah.
effects.
Most
Yeah,
of the practical effects.
yeah,
The
Practical.
practical
exactly.
effects are the best.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They're
and
the
and
best.
he literally makes it work. And it's weird because I talk to Christy a lot, and we share like a lot of documentary. We like crime, we like true crime, we like documentaries. And I said, hey, have you seen this one? Have you seen this one? And then and of course, she has a show with Tom Devlin, and Tom Devlin has done like so many movies, but it's like and like y'all were talking about, how AI is kind of stealing, from
Yeah.
people doing practical effects. See, and it's weird because she was telling me, well, what do you think about AI artwork? I said, I hate it because AI artwork, you're not putting your heart and soul. You're just taking a picture and you're shooting it through an app, and all of a sudden it's like there it is, and it's like,
Yeah.
no, it's like you got to go through, to me, it's more blood, sweat, and tears, of drawing the thing on canvas, painting it, adding the detail to it. It's like it just
Right. Right.
it's taken away from that.
Yeah, it does. It's, this um I've put together, some music videos and had some done from a studio, and they use some of the AI stuff, and which is fine because the music is real, and
Yeah.
it's our images. But as far as artwork, like I have original artwork that was sent to me, like the paintings behind me and
Mhm.
stuff like that. And that's all hand done, and you appreciate that more,
Yeah.
than the AI stuff. But just real quick to go back to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and we're talking about realism, and not using AI, the old school version. When we had Alan Danziger on the show, we had asked him, a plethora of questions, of course, and
Mhm.
it struck me when you were talking about that, when you mentioned the movie, the scene when he walked into the house, and I forget how it all played out. But I know Henry's like he's like the book of knowledge on all these movies. But he he purposefully did not want to see the other actor like in the mask. So you know, he wanted that the surprise and the look that he had, almost like that scared look was like real. You know what I mean? Because it wasn't like they did it. So he purposely wanted to almost like scare himself. So he didn't want to see the guy until he got into the house. So he didn't know what he was getting into, I guess, in a way. So
Yeah.
then, that comes down to what you were saying. That's that old school realism, acting,
Yes.
it is, so, you look at some of the old Twilight Zones and, you go way back where, it might be only two or three people in a situation, but yet they sell it, and it's
Yeah.
just solely on their performance. No tricks, no this, no, it's just how they act, even
Exactly.
stuck in a room, this, and whatever it might be, and they just sell it. Now
Yeah.
you can fly with one click of a button, you can grow wings and fly. I mean, so it's, but
Yeah. And it's weird because the I forgot the actor who played Kirk. He stopped by my table, and he actually got a print of El Carnicero. I gave it to him. I gifted him a print, and yeah, I said, "Hey, well, do you mind if we take a picture?" And he says, "No, not at all." So I asked him about the part where Gunnar Hansen hits him with the mallet,
oh
and
yeah,
I go
yeah,
and I asked him, I go, how many? Because I like to ask, like, well, how many takes was that? And he goes, I
yeah,
want to say it was probably maybe 3 or 4 takes. He goes, but I told him, hit me hard, and I go, well, when you landed, I go, he goes, there were no mats because we didn't have, we didn't have time. We're on a time constraint. So everything
Hmm.
that you see in that movie when he falls down to the ground, I mean, he goes, I fell down really, really hard,
Wow.
and
Yeah.
but that was back then, when they were, when they had, budget on the movie and stuff like that. Same thing with Terry McMinn. She was telling me when they hooked her on the hook, they had like a special type of harness, and then she's saying, and then of course, in the dog days of summer, in August, shooting,
Oh yeah.
on conditions and stuff like that. I mean, it's like, geez, I gotta hand it to that casting, for that, that cast, hanging in there, shooting a movie that is, a horror classic, that we're talking about 40 years later.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That
Exactly.
that first Texas Chainsaw Massacre. For anybody's wondering, I don't know if I've ever said it. I probably have. That is my favorite horror movie of all time.
Yeah.
It's just my absolute favorite. And yeah, Alan Danziger told us when we had him on. He told us, a lot about that. We had certainly, like John said, a plethora of questions, but yeah, he wanted his reaction to when he saw Gunnar Hansen in the getup
Hmm.
to be
Mm.
real. So when Leatherface comes barging in there and that he turns and he looks and he screams like that, that was real.
Wow.
That was that was his real reaction to seeing Leatherface. And he ran out the house and down the road. And so when that scene where he hits him from the hammer with the hammer, and you see Leatherface from the front, and you see Alan go down from the back. That was a different edit, but the part right before that where he turns around and screams like that was the real reaction. That was
Yeah.
the
He was
real deal.
he was a pretty cool customer. I gotta say, we had a good time talking to that guy for sure. He was
Oh yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
yeah, yeah. We yeah, yeah. It was a back and forth thing. Definitely picking on each other. It was fun. We had a really, really good time. But
Oh yeah.
Nah,
yeah, 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 yeah. So that's yeah. Like I said, it's we like doing what you do with your artwork and meeting all those people, and and it's same for us with our channel. It's that's probably the best part of what, in my opinion, of what we do. We do is we get to meet so many people. It's it is that's that for me is how I get paid. Not monetarily. It's meeting everybody and
yeah.
Oh yeah.
hearing the stories and making all kinds of new acquaintances, and that's the payoff of
Yeah.
of us doing this show, because we wouldn't, if we wouldn't have started this thing. Well, actually, he started it, and we just collabed together on it. Down the road, we would never have met eh, probably none of any of these people.
Yeah.
So
And
Oh
that
yeah.
it's
that's
weird.
the cool
Never
part
in a
about it.
million
That's
years, me doing these horror conventions, never in a million years, if I told you, maybe 20, 30 years ago that I'd be
hmm
meeting these, these iconic people, I mean, I would have like laughed, like, yeah, right, but
yeah,
like I said, it's just it's the experience, and then just meeting them and talking to them just like normal people. That's the beauty of that too. That, I mean, that's
right,
the normal beauty of it, and especially when they appreciate something that you've created for them, that makes the meet and greet even more special than that.
Oh
So
yeah,
yeah.
mm,
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Getting to meet people that we've actually had on the show in person is really really awesome, because they're they're really down to earth people. Like we
hmm
met, or we went at the Mockingbird Lane show, as a matter of fact, and got to meet and talk to uh, Michael Berryman. from The Hills
Mhm.
Have Eyes as well, because he was sitting right next to Janice.
Mhm.
And he is a very kind, intellectual man.
Yeah.
Nothing like the characters he plays in the movies. He's the exact opposite, and a very, very sweet individual. I also got to talk to Michael Bailey Smith that played Pluto in the Hills Have Eyes remake. And
Mhm.
the funny thing about him is when we went to the panel,
Mhm.
I thought he was somebody's bodyguard because the guy was so big. But he's very cool and laid back. And I also got to talk to Butch Patrick that played
Mhm.
Eddie Munster
Eddie
and put the
Munster.
mic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he fired up the Dragula for us, and
Yes.
Herman Monster's chopper. I got to take some great photos with him and Janice. Janice wanted to actually sit. She wanted to sit in the Dragula, and he uh, he put the bubble top down and walked away and said, "Bye, Janice." Like he was gonna leave her there. It was
Oh my God.
classic.
Yeah,
And
he was revving that thing of knocking Verlaine, and it was like, "Rrr, rrr," and
Yeah.
then I think it clogged on him, and he goes, "Oh," and he goes, "Shit," he goes, "I think the fuel line is clogged," so I guess he had to
uh,
wait a little bit, and then he cranked it up again, and so yeah, so that was pretty cool seeing that. I got video of that of him, starting up the Dragula and stuff like that. That was pretty cool.
yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Um, so I was gonna speaking of Mockingbird Lane and that stuff and the Nakanomicon Fest. How did you get hooked up with Retro City?
Retro City was actually I think at the time Joe was selling some stuff. He was selling some stuff at the Rock Box with Kings of Horror, and then he decided to do an event called it was like the very first, I think, Killer Clowns event, which was done
Mm.
at Rolling Oaks Mall. I think I want to say it was in 2022, 2023. And then afterwards, uh he started doing events at Ingram, and then we just started doing events. And then I told him, I go, hey, would you like to do a live? That way we could, promote whatever event that's going on. And we just did it. And with every event, that just got, bigger and bigger and bigger. Like the Mortal Kombat one, got to meet some of the actors, not the actors, but the video game actors. The Crow event, the Return of the Living Dead. I think that was probably next to the Killer Cons. That was probably one of the top five events that I did because I got to meet the whole cast and got to meet Leanna Quigley, I think Beverly Randolph,
Yeah.
Miguel Nunez. Oh my God, Miguel Nunez was he was like the life of the convention at that
Oh, I
one.
bet.
Yeah, and then got to help him out, make vendor passes, vendor tags, just contributing, helping out and stuff like that. And the events just got bigger and bigger and bigger, and so that was it. I mean, that's how I got involved with him. And I think he's luring more into like wrestling, the wrestling part of that, but he's still gonna do events and stuff like that. But for the most part, I mean, it's the journey's been great, doing stuff with Kings of Horror, Retro City, and there's actual vendors that vend from Retro City that vend at the Kings of Horror event. And it's weird because when I'll go to like a Kings of Horror event and I'm not vending, they'll say, "Do you got a table here?" I go, "Nah, I'm just here visiting. I'm just showing support." They go, "Oh, I thought you were vending today." It's like, but sometimes as an artist, you have to take a break sometimes because
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
like any musician, you get burned out. It's like, I'm not going to pick up the guitar for a while, just like me. Like, I'm like, Frida Fest is going on this weekend, right? So I remember in 2018, I had painted like almost close to like 30 Fridas. And for that event, I ended up selling 10 of those before the event. So by the time Frida
Wow.
Fest
Wow.
came, by the time Frida Fest came, I did sell a couple of paintings. But man, after that 2018 event, I was like, I didn't want to fucking look at Frida's face. I didn't want to. I didn't want to pick up a paintbrush. I think I went a whole month without doing nothing, like, because you get burned out. So then I
Mm,
kind of learned that, maybe if I just work on something, like maybe work on this painting and then work on this other one, it prevents burnout. Yeah, I kind
right.
of,
Right.
I kind of see it as like, and I know a lot of people, they criticize Metallica for this because two of my favorite bands are Metallica and Maiden. But after the Black Album, they had the Load era, and they had like these 32 songs, and they're working on these, and then they're working on that. They were going back and forth, and then they took the best 14, and of course it was Load, and then the last 14 was Reload. So I kind of like took that approach and say, you know what, I can work on a horror piece and then I could work on a Chicano piece. That way it prevents any type of burnout. And there's some pieces that shit, like this one, I started on it like sometime last year and I still haven't finished it yet, but it's a Virgin of Guadalupe
Oh
luchadora.
wow. Oh
Wow.
wow.
So yeah, so of course I gotta have it ready for December, for the Virgin of Guadalupe show. But that's how it is sometimes. You'll lose track and you'll just start, on something else, or you get inspired to do something and then you knock it out within a day or two. And you know but that's the way it is.
Wow.
It's a creative process. It's just like songwriting. It's just like
Hmm.
making music. You'll come up with a riff, and okay, and then you come up with a song just like overnight or what have you. So, but
So
yeah.
so do you get that thing like I know as a musician it could be midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, whatever it is, and then for some reason something's stuck in my head, and you're
Mhm.
like, son, so you don't want to lose it. So I'll come in and grab like an acoustic guitar and my phone and record whatever riff I had in my head, then go back to bed. Because if you don't, it's gone. So do you have that
Yes.
as an artist too? You get this vision like I gotta at least jot down something, otherwise you're gonna lose the idea. Does that happen? You know, to yourself as a actual artist?
So, you know what? Some of the and it's weird because I'll be just sitting down watching TV, and
Hmm.
then or I'll be driving, and I'll tell my wife, I go, get out a piece of pen and paper. I go, I got an idea for something. Da, 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 da. And then I'll be at a stop sign, and I'll just like stick figure it, and then I'll just
Yeah,
put it in my pocket.
yeah,
Or in
yeah,
the
yeah,
middle of
yeah.
the night, I'll get an idea. I used to have government government teacher, Mr. Gutierrez. He goes, anytime, I want to figure out a question for a quiz, I'll get up in the middle of the night and I'll write it down.
Write it down.
Well, that's fucking like, I mean, him teaching me that, I kind of ended up applying it, and then, or
Yeah, yeah.
sometimes I'll have an event, I'll have something written down, and then I'll have it on the back burner, and then I'm looking through my like journal where I'm writing, okay, these are the art pieces I'm going to take to this event. This is what I'm going to take to this event, and then all of a sudden I go and I go, oh, hey, I forgot about this one. So then you get inspired to do that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah,
But if you don't take notes at that moment, you know what I mean? It's like you're afraid you're
Yeah.
gonna lose it. And
exactly,
that's
exactly.
so it's and I've had that. It's like, oh man, we're working on a song in the studio. It's then I'm thinking about this, thinking about that. I'm like, and it's like you get up and what are you doing? So I'll be right back, and I run in my studio and do a quick little whatever, and then okay, I'm done, and then it's just the concept is there. Otherwise I'll forget it. It's like
Yeah, exactly.
then you're
Like,
mad. You're like, son of a bitch, I should have wrote it down or recorded something because it was in my freaking head all night long. Oh, and my brain couldn't shut off, you know. And then it just sucks because if you lose it, then you're pissed, like, oh man,
yeah,
So now
like
it's like, when it hits, I'm up, I'm in, let's go, So
Yeah,
Oh,
like right now, the hottest thing right now is Obsession. It's the hottest horror movie right now. So this one I did, just on a whim. I love
Oh
Mel
wow,
Gibson
yeah.
so much. Yeah.
wow. That's
So that
awesome.
one, I just did that one. Just that this took me like not even a day to paint. So I was like, okay. And then
Wow,
my
wow.
next event is the Aliens Predator event. So well, there's another one off that I did because of the Spider-Man movie. So
Oh wow, okay.
so I did that one, and the background. I don't know if you guys are into cartoons or not, but I always used to love the 1967 Spider-Man animated series, right?
Animated,
Yeah.
And
yeah.
and Ralph Bashki would do like these fucked up psychedelic backgrounds. And
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you know who Ralph Bashki is, he ended up doing the first X-rated movie, Fritz the
Fritz the
Cat.
cat.
First the
Yeah,
cat, yeah.
Fritz the Cat. Heavy traffic, Hey, Good Looking, Fire and Ice. I think he did Fire and Ice.
Yeah, he did
Um,
Fire and Ice. He
yeah,
did
Fire and
Cool
Ice,
World.
Lord of the Rings. So I always every time I paint Spider-Man, I have to put that psychedelic background. That's just like a flashback or a homage to my childhood, and it's weird
Wow,
because
wow.
I have the 67 series. I got the 5 disc set. It's out of print. So every now and
Wow,
then
wow.
I'll pop it in and I'll watch and I'll say, okay, who I've never done that background. So I try to emulate that. So, but here's
That's
another one that
awesome.
I did. Here's the Alien Queen. That's for the show this
Oh
week,
wow.
next weekend. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
And then, here's Notre, and of course I like to mix like a little bit of pop culture. So that's like Notre Dame with the Fighting Irish logo with the
Oh
Predator.
yeah. With the
Yeah,
predator.
yeah, with the
Yeah.
Predator. That's awesome.
And then here's another Predator that I did. And
Oh, badass.
so these are pieces I'm gonna have next week at the show, and then of course Vasquez has always been my favorite character in Aliens.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh no
Yeah,
way.
Yeah.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
And
Wow.
I
Less
did a
rock. I like that.
yeah, I did a Ripley one too, but I don't know where I think I put it away, but it says "Get away from her, you bitch." So I like to
Oh
put like
really?
movie quotes on there. It makes it more unique. Like, oh hell
Right,
yeah,
right.
So yeah, but that's what I
Wow,
have
wow.
for next week's show at Wonderland Mall. It's Aliens versus Predator event. So that's
Oh,
gonna
that's
be
so
fun.
freaking cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that was gonna lead me into my next question is when and where your next event was gonna be.
yeah.
So it's gonna be at you said at the Wonderland Mall of Americas?
Yeah, I actually have two events. It's going to be next weekend at Wonderland Mall. It's Aliens versus Predator. Um, I know two of the guests. There's going to be 5 guests. Bill Duke will be there, who played Mac in Predator, and also he played Cook in Commando, and then Carl Troop, who played the alien warrior, uh, the one that where he kidnaps Newt. He's going to be there as well,
Oh, wow,
and
okay.
Pancho's going to be there, and then another guy that the actor that played the feral predator in Prey, and
Uh,
then one of the actors that played the predator in oh shit in Predator 2. So the promoter was telling me that he was trying to bring some other aliens cast members, but I guess because of scheduling conflicts and all that, he wasn't able to. He goes, it's more of a Predator base, but at least we have that one xenomorph guest, that's gonna be there.
oh
So
yeah.
I'm going to be doing that. That is 2 days. That is going to be from 11 to 6 at Wonderland Mall. It's free admission, open to the public. And then my next event will be a pop up the following Saturday at the Morning Slashers, and that's going to be from 6 to 9. And they're going to have vendors as well. And I believe Spooky Mart is going to have their Ghostface theme bouncy house. out in the parking lot and stuff like that. So
Oh
yeah, so
wow.
it's gonna be really really fun. And September I don't have anything planned as of yet, but that was just something that I just picked up, last minute and stuff like that. So, but yeah, that's what I
Wow.
got
Wow.
going into the end of August, and of course, Barbacoa and Big Red in October. That's going to be a big one as well. And I'm just like I said, I'm just prepping for those shows and stuff like that. So, and that's the fun part is when you got a big event and you're prepping for that's just a lot of fun. So
That's cool.
yeah,
Yeah, I really want to try to make that Alien vs Predator event this weekend if I can. Uh,
yeah,
yeah, because that's gonna be a really good one, and I'll try to make the slashers event too.
yeah.
Um, but that leads me to my last question as well. So, where can people go to find out more about Israel, Rico, and your events, and where you're gonna be at, and where they can pick up, your
Usually they
work?
can go to my Facebook under Israel Rico, but usually I post more of my artwork on my Instagram, which is at ArtStar70, and that's where you'll see it because Facebook I usually like post my little rants and stuff like that. Like my last rant I think was because I started going to the gym like 2 weeks like 2 months ago,
Hmm.
and the thing that I hate is people are on their cell phones and they're working out. It's like like come on, there's a true story by the way. So I'm on the treadmill, right? And there's this couple that's next to me. I guess it's their friends, and they're talking about like their endeavors, and I'll keep it clean because I don't want your channel to get flagged and all that stuff.
No, we're good. We're good.
But this lady was talking about her boyfriend hitting her back door, and I'm like, I'm on the treadmill. I'm listening to the loneliness of a long distance runner, by Iron Maiden, and I'm like, what the fuck, like, really, like, and you hear people's like conversations, on the phone. It's like, are you there to
Oh
work
my
out or
God.
are you there to be on your phone? It's so
That's
so it's kind
amazing.
of like
That's
it's kind
amazing.
of like little things like that, or I'll do like my analyzations about like the little drummer boy. One time I did an analyzation of how Santa was such a dick to Rudolph and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, or how you see like the Black Phillip goat in the little drummer boy. It's just stupid little videos that I post and stuff like that. And I always end up saying, think about it, like that. But that's just for fun. That's just for just for fun, just to mess with people and stuff like that. But my
Wow.
artwork, but
Wow.
my artwork, you can see it on on my Instagram at ArtStar70, and Facebook. I usually put my in progress work, um
Okay.
because I feel that if I put it on Instagram, it's just by the time you get to the feed, I'd rather just put the finished product on Instagram, where Facebook, it's more like I'll post something that's in progress, and then someone will say, I want to buy that painting. And
Hmm.
it's like, it's sold already. It's like, it's gone. Sometimes, even when I start on it, they say, I'll buy it off of you. I don't care how
Yeah,
it turns out.
Wow.
I'm gonna, I'll buy it off of you. And that's like y'all were talking about. That's the beauty of when you're doing your real social media and all that stuff. That's the beauty of it, because people just say, I want that. And, you know, or sometimes I'll post a painting that I posted like months ago, and it's sold. And someone says, oh, do you still have this one? And I go, sorry, I sold it. I go, I do have the print. Oh, I don't want the print. I want the original. I'm like, so
It's gone.
so that's
It's
it.
gone.
Actually, I had done, as a matter of fact, on Instagram, someone had messaged me, and it was a Virgen of Guadalupe Aztec, like an Aztec version of it, and
Oh
somebody
wow.
who's an Aztec dancer wanted it, but I said I sold that, back in December. It's like I sold it at a Mexican restaurant. I go, but I do have the print. and they go, no, I don't want the print. I want the original. So, you know,
Uh,
but that's why I like to give them the opportunity. If if you don't want to get the original, you can always get a copy of it.
yeah,
So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
exactly, exactly. Wow. So I mean, you're pretty booked up over here. I mean, so you're staying busy.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
it's you know, yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah, and that's cool because what I like about the and like with the fall shows, like Day of the Dead, that I got a show that I'm going to be doing there, a little market that I'm going to be doing on there, and then December 12th is Virgen de Guadalupe, so I'm already booked for those. So it's like there's a time where it's kind of like I don't call it crunch time, but it's like it's where I like to finish the year strong. Then I maybe take a week break, and then I think Kings of Horror has, I guess, Children of Horror in February. So then I start prepping for that show, into January and February. That way, once February comes around, or yeah, I already have all my stuff ready. So it's like just trying to be
Wow.
just, I try to, like I said, I try to be ahead of the game. And the beauty about it is that I'm during my work, I paint during my lunch breaks, and most of the paintings they're 8 by 10, so I can knock them out like within a day or two. Because if I were to do 16 by 20s, it would take me almost like 2 to 3 weeks to finish it.
Wow.
So I
Yeah, I'm
rather
sure. Yeah.
I'd rather do it in small scale. That way you have people that come out of town, they can just slip it in their suitcase and then they could go. And then oh well, another event that I'm doing at in September is the Iron Maiden pop-up. It's a fan meet and greet, so you get to meet like because I'm going to the concert on the 29th. So Bonds is having a little event where you meet other fans from like other parts of the state, other parts of the country. You have people coming from England. You have people coming from Colombia. I have a good friend of mine that was in the Iron Maiden documentary Burning Ambition. He's coming down. So and then what I do is I'll make journals like with Iron Maiden, Number of the Beast, different versions of Eddie, and I'll put them on there, and then since they can't carry a big painting with them, they're able to take a keepsake with them. So
Wow.
yeah,
That's awesome,
That is
man.
freaking cool.
That is
yeah,
awesome.
Holy
yeah,
Toledo. That's
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Wow. Yeah, I think people have to appreciate the amount of effort and work that goes into what people like yourself do, and I think and that comes down to what we were talking about before with the AI and all the other stuff where it's a click of a button and it's like, okay, you got an instant picture or an instant whatever, you know so there's very little work involved, so to speak, because it's all done for you, where you have to prep for shows, you got to pre-stage your stuff, you got to get your ideas, you got to, and there's just a lot involved with that. And if you don't stay on top of your game, the next thing you know, hey, you got a show coming up, and I need to get on this and get this stuff done. You know, the
yeah,
the computers aren't doing it for you. You gotta put
yeah, exactly.
paint to the canvas to make it work. You know,
Yeah,
and and that's where some people will be like, well, it's just a lot of work. It is. Anything that's worth doing, you got to put effort into it. Whether it's music, doing the show, doing art, it takes time.
yeah,
And I think that's something that perhaps is being kind of taken away or lost in the newer generations, where everything's instant gratification. So they're losing that anticipation of, okay, you make the painting, you make 4 or 5, and I want to get the reaction to this painting. So then after it's all done, you don't know what's going to happen. So you're anticipating, okay, this is going to be really good, and it's the build up to the show. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So I think that is what people are losing with this, with all the new technologies, that they're losing that experience of putting in the time, anticipating what's about to happen, and then hoping for a good turnout, just like doing a music show. You don't know, you put in all the work and effort, you don't know, because you're going live. No one's playing the guitar and drums for you. You have to do it yourself,
Yeah.
So, and the same thing, no one's making your paintings. You got to freaking do it yourself. So I think that's one thing that is being lost in the newer generation is that experience of creating something,
Right.
and and it's a shame because like you said, there's a lot involved. There's planning, there's this, there's that, and then there's the build up to the final outcome, which is doing all the cool shows, meeting all the cool people. So
Yeah. And,
so
and
you,
the thing is too is that with a lot, there's a lot of conventions that they're banning the AI artwork.
oh
Which is
wow,
kind of
awesome,
good. Yeah, because I think
yeah,
San Diego Comic Con was like one of the first ones to ban AI artwork, because really, I mean, there's really no talent behind it. I mean, I hate to rag on it, but
yeah, yeah,
there's no. I mean, you're not putting any effort into it. I mean,
right,
and of course, the anticipation. Now, the downside sometimes when you're planning for a convention, sometimes that guest can cancel. Sometimes the show will get
yeah,
removed, but it's to me that's okay because I can always take an art piece and take it to Taco Haven. I could take it to Luchador,
yeah,
and
yeah,
so it's like I kind of have those safety nets,
hmm,
Yeah.
well, I don't want to call them safety nets because the artwork can stay up there for maybe 2 to 3 months until I sell something, but it keeps it fresh. That's like, okay,
sure,
I'm gonna exchange it for this one. I'm gonna put this one. I'm gonna uh put this one instead. So it kind of works out for me in a way, and I got to give a shout out to my wife because she's like one of my biggest supporters. And I go, man, I still have, sometimes I'll say, man, I still have this freaking painting from 2022. And my wife, she always assures me, she says, you know what? It'll be meant to be sold to somebody who's gonna want it. It
right,
just
right,
takes the right person, and it just takes the right time. And I have to say, she's 100% of the time she is so right. And that's the beauty about having someone that has your back and supports what you love. She's not so much of a horror fan, so to say. The only two things that she likes is the Conjuring series because it's real life, and
mm.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space. But
Oh
any of the
yeah,
horror movies, she hates. She hates. And I go, how could you like The Conjuring and not like this one? And she goes, well, because The Conjuring, it's based on true stories. It's based on real life. So but I got to applaud her for that. Because she's always there. She's always helping me, move the merchandise. She's there helping me,
oh cool, yeah,
organizing stuff and all that stuff, and I mean, I have to admit I'd be lost without her, but she's it's always good when you have a great support system.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Definitely.
100% on that, and without mine, my wife as well is she, I do my music, and it's like anything else, if I do rehearsal or do a show, whatever, I know I gotta, I know we'll be going off somewhere to Nashville and take her out somewhere or do a dinner cruise. You got to balance it out, and I get it, but and she just comes in my music room and just kind of like shakes her head sometimes, going, "What are you doing?" I said, "I don't know. I'm having fun. You know, I don't want to grow old. I don't want to grow up. I'm just having a lot of fun. So it's
Yeah,
really, but and she puts up with it. She really does. But it's good because it allows you to have like again support system, and then you have
yeah.
you have an in-house critic because so sometimes I get criticized too for my music. Well, I don't know about that video. Don't put that. Oh Christ, I got to redo this thing.
Yeah,
Whatever it
and
is.
sometimes it's like I go, should I add more detail to this? And usually,
Yeah.
your significant other's your best critic because it's
Oh
like,
yeah.
no,
Yeah.
just leave it like that. Like the Chavo and Chapulín Colorado, I said, should I put a graveyard, with crosses in the background, for the Day of the Dead one? She goes, no, just leave it like that. She goes, you've already done artwork with crosses in the background and stuff. Just leave it plain. And I said, okay,
Right,
fine.
right.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So, so it kind of like, so I'm like, okay, I'm relieved with that one. I go, hey, if you're happy, I'm happy. So, so
You
that's
got
it,
that right. You
Yeah.
got that right. Well, I'm going to let Henry land the plane, but it's been a pleasure having you on the show. I think that your artwork is really really cool. You definitely have a talent. I could do a stick figure and barely write my name, but that's all good. But seriously, you have a real talent, man. And I'm going to look you up because I got a couple of ideas. I'm going to surf some of your stuff because I definitely want to something whatever in my studio, that you got. So we'll figure that out
Cool.
later. But well, I mean, Henry's right there, so I'm gonna pick on him and get him out to one of the restaurants or something. Like, just get me something.
Sure.
since,
Yep,
since,
Yeah.
since he,
sure.
Yeah. And if you want to, like, if you want to see my artwork too, as well, publicly, you can go to the Haven Southtown, which is located on Presa Street. You'll see my artwork there. Or if you go to a luchador bar on Roosevelt, 622 Roosevelt Street, you can be able to see it there. They're right next to the slot machines, and you could see them right there. And like I said, I
wow,
do a little bit of everything: horror, pop culture, you name it. So that's where you'll be able to see my artwork. And if you want to purchase it, you just go there, tell the owners, hey, I like to purchase this piece. And
yeah,
normally
yeah,
they send me a picture and they say, hey, sold. And so
wow,
that's it.
wow.
So yeah.
Yeah, see now Henry has a new career path. He could be like this
Yep.
secret shopper out there and send stuff to me and send stuff to me in Alabama. And
Oh, for sure. For sure,
see,
definitely.
see you got a talent, Henry. You got to go with your gut. You got.
Yeah.
But anyway, so
Yep.
thank you again for
Mm,
coming on and talking to us and let everybody kind of see your artwork, which is incredible. And
thank you.
anytime you want to come back on, you got something happening, you got some new stuff, just hook up with Henry or myself, whatever, and we'll bring you back on because this has been awesome.
Sure.
Because I think
Oh,
you're
yeah, definitely.
a talented person for sure, and definitely thank you so much
No,
for doing this. And yeah,
no, well, thanks for having me. I appreciate the time. I always love talking about, horror, artwork, pop culture, what have you. But thanks for having me. I really appreciate the time. It was
oh,
fun.
no worries. And
No
Henry, I'll let you
problem.
wrap up, brother.
All right. I just want to say, getting back to the topic of your other half supporting you. Yeah, same here. Without Rosie, I wouldn't be able to find my socks. So, but that's our show for this evening. We'd like to thank Israel Rico for being on our show, and we will see you in the next video.
Thank you.